Hello everybody and welcome to the New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the 2003 Winston Cup Series playoff opener. Jimmy Johnson will start on the pole alongside Joe Nemechek as we are green and underway from New Hampshire in the playoffs. Here in 2003, which one of our 16 drivers will walk away Winston Cup champion? We will find out 10 races from now when we end the season. Homestead already 3 wide for the lead. Dale Earnhardt Jr. already making an aggressive move to the inside of Jimmy Johnson, going side by side for the lead here on lap 1. Here comes Dale Jr., the top qualifying and top running playoff contender in the field, currently battling for the race lead with Jimmy Johnson in his second season. Of course, winless so far. Johnson trying to change that to have a positive note to end his season on. Behind them, McMurray, Belly, and Joe Nemechek are in the middle of a fierce fight for position back there, as it is intense. But battle for the lead and throughout the field here. Some great racing to start here in New Hampshire. Jr. and Jimmy Johnson still side by side for the lead through turn 1 and 2. A great corner though from Jimmy Johnson. He gets the momentum, and the 48 will pull ahead down the back stretch, and Jimmy Johnson will clear Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the race lead. Jr. still fighting back to the inside. One last shot here in the 3 and 4 to get to the inside. Not quite. And Jimmy Johnson will hold the race lead here in New Hampshire over Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the rookie Jamie McMurray battling for a second. How about that 42? McMurray doing really well for Chip Ganassi Racing today. Jimmy Lee now behind 6 throughout the pack, struggling in running order. Biffle, Jeff Green, Kenny Wallace, 3 of our championship contenders. Dale Jarrett the 4th. Those are the bottom 4 running playoff contenders at the moment. Up here we have a 3 wide situation. Casey Mears, Mike Skinner, and Terry Labonte in the middle of a tight squeeze here for position. Really squeezing each other down the track. 3 wide, nearly almost 4 wide, going into 3 and 4. Look out, Robbie Gordon is in this mess as well. The 31 manages to get by Terry Labonte, though still in a bad spot right now. In front of him, he's going to clip Mike Skinner to the wall. They go, and around goes Terry Labonte. Your championship contender goes around and gets hit hard by Sterling Marlin and Ricky Craven. Jeff Green collects damage as well as Terry Labonte's race is over. Well, it's not over. He's not out of the race, but his competitive car is definitely destroyed with that big hit from Sterling Marlin and Kenny Schrader. Dale Jarrett did get squeezed into the inside wall up ahead as well. But Terry Labonte's car destroyed after a crash here early in New Hampshire. He's put in the wall. He slides in front of everybody and just gets clipped right there. A couple of guys very lucky to avoid, but a big hit there from Sterling Marlin, Ricky Craven, and Jeff Green also collect damage in the incident as the caution comes out for the first time today here in New Hampshire on lap number 4 as they race back to the line. Looks like it'll be Jimmy Johnson holding off Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the race lead. These 2 young drivers running 1-2, looking to have a solid start to the playoffs for Dale Jr. of course. Looks to be in position to get some good stage 1 stage points. But Jimmy Johnson in the lead. And then we on to lap 17. Out of the race now is Greg Biffle and Michael Waltrip, 2 more championship contenders. Biffle, who's of course the rookie for Roush Racing, won at Bristol. He's out of the race in 41st, and Michael Waltrip out in 40th from wreck that we missed. Of course, Michael Waltrip is in the mix for that regular season title, but now out of the race and on the ropes early in the playoff opener. So 2 playoff drivers already out after a crash that we missed. Jimmy Johnson still leading. Bill Elliott has just passed Dale Earnhardt for second, and into the wall. Ryan Newman, Sterling Marlin gets squeezed in there by Joe Nemechek and Tony Raines. Some crazy racing going on here. Mid-pack back into the top 10 here at New Hampshire. Kurt Busch trying to find his way by as well. Kurt Busch will narrowly get by, but we're still 3 wide squeezing. McMurray gets turned by Tony Raines at the wall into Sterling Marlin, and there goes Newman around, your regular season champion, spinning through the infield, and the caution will wave once again here at New Hampshire. Newman goes around. The caution will wave, and behind us, so we got to find out what happened to the 40 of Sterling Marlin as well. As he spun, he disappeared. We didn't see where he went off to. So now we look at the 40 of Sterling Marlin here. So you look ahead, you see the 40. He's going flying down there to the inside. You see Sterling. He has a pretty bad path here. So now we're going to get a slow-mo replay of this incident here in New Hampshire. You see just McMurray just gets clipped by Tony Raines into the outside wall. Marlin gets squeezed in there. Then he comes right across the nose of Newman, who gets clipped by his teammate Rusty Wallace. And Sterling Marlin goes head on to the tire barrier. A terrible crash for Sterling Marlin, knocking him out of the race. And my God, he's like he's alive after that. It's a horrible crash there for Sterling Marlin. Newman just sends him and a head-on collision to that inside wall. A horrible crash for Sterling Marlin. Ryan Newman stays undamaged. Very fortunate, Ryan Newman. Very, very lucky he did not get any real damage in that incident. He just gets spun around. No damage sustained by Ryan Newman, so he is okay. He will be able to continue in this race and definitely salvage some points, as he's a regular season champion, so he's first on the playoff grid, but that cost him dearly nonetheless. Cost him of his cushion. Behind Rusty Wallace goes sideways. Hang on to it. He does. He saves it. And back at the front, it is still Jimmy Johnson leading this race. Now on the last lap of Stage 1 is Jimmy Johnson and Dale Earnhardt Jr. battling for the Stage 1 win. Earnhardt, of course, in a great spot to earn 9 stage points to help his case to advance to the round of 12 in these playoffs. As we wait for the lap car of Terry Labonte, who's involved in that earlier crash to cross the start-finish line to toss the caution command. All their playoff drivers inside the top 10 right now. You have Kurt Busch, Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick. So, I mean, 4 total playoff drivers inside the top 10. 2, 3, and 4 for the final time. Looks like Jimmy Johnson is going to get his second stage win of the season. Out of turn 4, Jimmy Johnson will win stage 1 here in New Hampshire, followed by Dale Jr. in second, then Bill Elliott, Joe Nemechek, and Kurt Busch the top 5. And then Jamie McMurray, Matt Kenseth, Jeff Gordon, Dave Blaney, and Kevin Harvick. Your top 10 stage 1. Big stage points for Junior, Kurt Busch, Gordon, and Harvick. But Jimmy Johnson gets a stage win. Now a huge crash here has wiped out the 21 of Ricky Rudd out of this race, as well as Todd Bodine and Mike Skinner and Johnny Benson here as we get back underway in stage 2. Dale Earnhardt Jr. now leading at New Hampshire. Casey Mears also out of the race as Earnhardt looks to win his way in the round of 12. But Ricky Rudd will be our third playoff contender to fall out of this race, joining Greg Biffle and Michael Waltrip. So they're the first 3 playoff contenders to DNF here in New Hampshire in a wild turn of events. This race has been crazy for the playoff contenders. Track position going all over the place. Lots of pit strategy, shaking up the running order like Jimmy Johnson right now, trying to work his way through the field, dealing with the lapper of Derek Cope in the 37 right now. Jeff Gordon behind Jimmy, trying to find his way by Harvick as well. Bobby Labonte all in this situation up ahead, though. Kurt Busch is ahead of them. But Dale Earnhardt Jr. now leading this race here in New Hampshire over Matt Kenseth, who was so close to making the playoffs by winning the regular season title, just could not do it. Bill Elliott comes home, he's still running in third at the moment. Bill Elliott, of course, Bill Elliott without a top 5 through the entirety of this season so far. He's got a couple of top 10s, but Bill Elliott, no top 5s through 26 races this season. Can he change that in race 27 here today? New Hampshire, Kenseth to the inside of Earnhardt, does not work. Dale Jr. maintains the lead here in New Hampshire in stage 2. Now, on the last lap of stage 2, it's Bill Elliott, who has gotten around Dale Earnhardt Jr. Now Bill Elliott leads, trying to steal the stage win. As once again, looks like Dale Jr. will be second in a stage. Matt Kenseth is still right on Jr.'s bumper there. Kenseth running in third. These guys nearly lapping Ryan Newman and Terry Labonte. Jimmy Johnson is charged back into fourth, and Rusty Wallace runs in fifth. But it looks like it's going to be a stage win coming the way of the 9 Dodge of Bill Elliott for Ray Abraham, having a strong end to this season. That's been a struggle for him. As Newman crosses the line, we'll toss the yellow command and back to the start-finish line. Bill Elliott will win stage 2 here in New Hampshire, followed by Earnhardt Jr., Kenseth, Johnson, Rusty Wallace, Sadler, McMurray, Nemechek, Mark Martin, and Bobby Labonte each get a stage point. Big for those guys. So Mark Martin, Bobby Labonte, and Dale Jr., your 3 playoff drivers getting stage points. Now Bobby Labonte is out of the race with Steve Park on lap 107. So the 18, Bobby Labonte, is our 4th playoff driver to DNF here in New Hampshire. Playoff chaos starting to really kick off as we get underway. 44 laps to go here in New Hampshire, 42 laps to go in New Hampshire. Bill Elliott leads, Jimmy Johnson second, Dale Jr. in third. Who's going to get the win today behind us? They're 3 wide. Derek Cope getting used up by Robbie Gordon. Mark Martin finding a way by on the outside lane. Kurt Busch in the middle of this mess. 97 goes to the inside as he tries to work his way by as well. Of course, Kurt Busch in the championship 4 last season, trying to get there once again. You know, Robbie Gordon just got into these playoffs, but has a horrible race today. He currently sits 21 laps down in the 30th position on the race track. How about Kenny Wallace, the 83, running in the top 10, trying to save his playoff hopes, as well as Jeff Green, both of them in the top 10 as they came in 15th and 16th on the playoff grid, both outside the top 30 in points, having big-time runs here in New Hampshire. Dale Jarrett also trying to salvage some points from the back of the field. Matt Kenseth, Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick, they've lost all their track position. They're trying to fight back. But at the front, Bill Elliott is driving away from Jimmy Johnson with the race lead here with just 40 laps to go in New Hampshire. Bill Elliott leads Jimmy Johnson and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Now we're on to a restart with just 3 laps to go in New Hampshire. Green underway. It's going to be 3 to go here in New Hampshire. Jimmy Johnson in the lead. Dale Earnhardt Jr. runs in second. Bill Elliott has dropped down to third. And then behind them, Nemechek is fourth. And Elliott, Sadler, fifth. You got the lap cars of Tony Stewart playing the factor. But it's Jimmy Johnson versus Dale Jr. and Bill Elliott for the win here today in New Hampshire. Which one of these 3 will walk away in victory lane? Jimmy Johnson has been very fast today. He's on the pole, won the first stage. Bill Elliott won the second stage. He's led the most laps today. Junior been second in both stages. These are clearly the 3 best cars of the day. Here we are, just 2 to go in New Hampshire for Jimmy Johnson, looking to get his first win of 2003 and his 3rd career Cup Series victory in his 2nd full-time season. Earnhardt Jr. running in second, trying to advance to the round of 12 with a victory, and Bill Elliott in third, trying to salvage a rough season here with his first ever top 5 in 2003. As back at the front in this battle. Coming to the white flag this time, Johnson is able to block Dale Jr.'s line through the corner. He's holding him off, putting dirty air on the front nose of that 8 car through 3 and 4. Coming to take the white flag this time. They're going to have one last shot at it. White flag, final lap, presented by Colonel One Bank and New Hampshire for Jimmy Johnson. Looking to hold on and get the win for Rick Hendrick. Dale Earnhardt Jr. running in second, having a very strong points day for himself and that DEI team to put himself in a great spot to advance to the round of 12 with Dover and Talladega, the next 2 races in the round. Both good tracks for Earnhardt. Here comes Bill Elliott to the inside of the 8. Bill Elliott, one last charge to try to get to second. They're going to be side by side through the corner. That's exactly what Jimmy Johnson wants to see, as none of them have momentum to get him through 3 and 4 for the final time. Jimmy Johnson holds on and wins at New Hampshire. Dale Jr. second, Bill Elliott third, Nemechek, Rusty Wallace the top 5, then McMurray, Kenseth, Sadler, Mark Martin, and Jeff Gordon, your top 10 today in New Hampshire. The win for Jimmy Johnson, his first victory of 2003, one race after being eliminated from playoff contention, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. gets a very strong points day, coming home in second in all 3 stages. You see the race results on the left side of your screen. The list of DNFs, of course, mainly Bobby Labonte, Michael Waltrip, Greg Biffle, and Ricky Rudd, the 4 playoff drivers that DNF'd. And we'll see the updated playoff grid heading into Dover momentarily. That's the updated playoff grid. Dale Earnhardt Jr. with that big points day jumps all the way up from 9th to 1st, now plus 40 above the cut line. Jeff Gordon, Harvick, Ryan Newman also comfortable between 22.38 to the good, also looking good, just no mistakes. They should advance. Mark Martin jumps up to plus 15 above the cut line. Terry Labonte, Dale Jarrett both just 10 to the good. Tony Stewart 7 points above the cut line. Then Kurt Busch, Kenny Wallace also plus 7. Great day for Kenny Wallace. And Bobby Labonte and Jeff Green sit on the bubble, both 5 points above Robbie Gordon, who now sits 5 points out. Michael Waltrip sits 10 points below the cut line. And Biffle and Rudd each 19 below the cut line. So until the next episode at Dover, I hope you all have a good one.